Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Shooting Show. On this week's episode we've got plenty of pest control action for you and a foxing foray out with Mark Ripley. But first we are joined by Mr. Ripley himself out with the new InfiRay thermal scope, and he's knocking down Charlies like there's no tomorrow.
Right, so this evening I am out to do a bit of foxing just for a change, and I've got with me a few new bits and pieces I'd like to show you. So first off, you'll notice I'm using my good old 223, it's a custom built 223 rifle. It's based on a Ticker T3 action, but not going too much into that. You'll notice I've got an InfiRay TH50 on here. This is the new version 2 and it is a very good thermal scope, and you would probably see me using it on 1 or 2 previous episodes. Well, InfiRay have now brought out a laser rangefinder for it. This also works with the version 1, so this scope's the version 2 as I say, and it simply bolts on the side there, and then you connect it via Bluetooth, and you get the information from the rangefinder all comes up within the screen. So we'll cover that in a bit more detail a bit later. I've also got from FX, this was supplied by Sportsman's Gun Centre, it is the new True Ballistic chronograph. Now this gadget I've been very impressed with, and I'm hoping to put it to use this evening. And the beauty of this is there's no wires, there's no nothing, it's literally all you see right there. That sits next to the rifle and records your velocity, but it can connect to your phone and the True Ballistics phone app, and from that you can get your true BCs for your bullet as well. So for long range shooting, this bit of kit is a real game changer. I'm really looking forward to having to play around with this. If it does everything that it says it does, then it's going to be a pretty impressive bit of kit. It's not a cheap bit of kit, mind you. It's about 900 quid, but at the end of the day, if you're doing this sort of thing seriously, then a decent chronograph like this is well worth having. I've had several different chronographs in the past. I've had about 5 I think, and all of them have let me down, broken, or just failed to work at some point or other, but this thing looks very promising. So again, we'll cover that in a bit more detail a bit later. So we've got all evening to have a little play around, so I want to put a few still targets out and see if we can stretch the legs on this a little bit, and from there, well, we'll go out and see if we can find a few foxes. Okay, I've got 3 targets set up. I've got one at 200 metres, and the next one is out at 338 according to our little rangefinder here, and then the furthest one's at 410, again going by our rangefinder. So first thing we're going to do is going to set the chronograph up. So I want to be able to know exactly what speed the ammunition's doing, so that I can then input that into the ballistic app and hopefully get a good correction on that. So apparently we need to use this little tube on the top here as like a little viewing window. Aim that towards our targets, which are around about there. Okay, turn it on. There we go. Tap button to activate. Right, okay, so we're ready to take our first shot. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, well, why not just go with the velocity on the box? Well, that's only a guideline, and it does depend on the current weather conditions, the area we're shooting in, so pressure, air density, stuff like that. And also it will make a massive difference with the length of your barrel. Now this barrel on this rifle has been cut down to 18 inches. So it's a little bit, 16 inches, so it's a little bit shorter than the factory standard. So that's going to affect the velocity just a little bit. So all those kind of things can come into play. So that's why it's really important to actually chronograph your loads. So these are just factory loads, by the way. This is Hornady 53 grain Super Performance. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to send a round down there at the 200-yard target, and we'll just see what my chronograph says about that. So get that recording. There we go. And our target, which is there. So as you can see from that, the chronograph has picked up a reading of 3,221 feet per second. So we'll have a couple more shots, and then we'll use that sort of those figures as an average. I'm using the Strelok app here, but any ballistic app will work just as well. This one's quite handy though, because it has a reticle feature as well, so I can hit that and it will actually show me where to aim using this scope reticle. So let's have a look at that. So our next target is out at 338 meters. Tap the reticle button, and there, I don't know if you can see that on there. Hopefully you can. That shows me then that I actually need to aim somewhere near the bottom of that cross there to hit that target. So let's have a go. Excellent. Right, well, so done. Let's have a look at the next one then. So the next target was 410 meters. So close that. 410. Ooh. 410. Calculate. Reticle. Right, so that basically shows me aiming in the gap between the centre crosshair and the bottom post. So that should be quite straightforward. Well, that's a pretty long way for a little 223, but we'll give it a go, see if we can get around on there. Might take a few shots, but let's focus it up a little bit. I've got to admit, I didn't actually expect to connect that with the first round hit at that distance. I thought the wind might just push that, but I guess because we're in that little valley there, it's not been affected too much by the wind. But yeah, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to have any more shots because I'm not sure I can do that again just like that. Not with the 223, 260, yeah, but 223. It's only a little bullet that. But anyway, dead happy with that. So right, let's go and have a look for a fox then. Right, I'm just going to have a little drive about, see what's around. So at the moment the crops are very high in a lot of places. There's only a few areas where the grass has been grazed short. So it's a little bit tricky trying to spot foxes at the minute. They're a bit better a bit later in the year when all the crops come off. That's when you get the best of them. saw something out in the field down here, but it's a long way out. Wind's picked up quite a bit, so I don't really think I'll be taking any particularly long shots, which is a bit of a shame because that's what I'm hoping to do. Well, that was a badger, so nothing exciting there, I'm afraid. We've got cubs on the track in front of me here. I'm just going to jump out and see if I can get a shot. One down, but there's another 3 or 4 more further down the track. I think what I'm going to do, what I'll do is I'll just grab the sticks out the back and walk down. Well, that's 4 youngsters down, but there's still another one in this litter, and I've just seen him up the top of the track, so he's sort of to and fro and he's hanging around. So I'm just going to wait here because there's a pretty good chance that before long he'll come walking back up to find his mates. Hey! see, that's the first fox, only a youngster, but they obviously grow into big foxes. And on here we've got a working sheep farm, cattle farm, and also pheasant shoot. So unfortunately these little chappies just aren't welcome here. Bit of a shame, I know, because they are lovely looking little things, but at the end of the day they do grow and they do eat lots of things that we don't want them eating. Right, we'll go and get the others. Right, that's the whole litter there. I haven't seen the adult foxes around here, but it's good to get the youngsters out of the way first, because then that way you're not leaving any that can't fend for themselves. But by the looks of it, these are all sort of a fair size now, so they probably could find a few bits and bobs to eat. But that said, it's good to clear up for the adults if you can. Well, that last fox was 140 yards or just over, and I just see him come out a bit further down on the track. Just managed to drop that one as well. Well, that's it for tonight anyway. It's getting late, so I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.
Next up, we're pleased to welcome back Gerwyn Jones to the shooting show. After a few months with some sparse bags of pigeons in his local area, Gerwyn's back to hopefully build a decent bag.
We're out in the Thames Valley today. We're shooting on the stubble field, which is rye stubble, and we're intercepting the pigeons en route to a wheat field, which is standing wheat, and the pigeons have just got onto it. And a couple of mates out today. Got one lad up the wind behind me. He's under the flight line as they're coming. We're there at this end, and then another pal is coming later on if things work out. So I've set up in a place I've never set up before. I've shot this estate for a while. We've got permission by the people in the property behind us to set up, and as you can, maybe you can hear, maybe you can't, but there's a good 15-20 mile an hour wind from the southwest, which is prevailing, so that's good. We are underneath some cables where the hide is, but they like this end of the field, and the wind is behind us, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. I wouldn't normally set up underneath cables, but our decoy pattern is going to be out in front of it, and there's a field behind us as well, which they can go onto as well. So the kit I'm using today is the normal trusty MX12 12 bore Parazzi solid chokes, fixed chokes, not solid chokes. And we are using none other than the Ely Zenith 32 gram number 5 shot. I've got some 30 gram 5s as well. Fantastic cartridge for long range stuff, short range stuff, or anything really. They're just a very, very good premium load. Possibly a little expensive to be using on pigeons, but it's what I've got in the cupboard, so that's what I'm using. But they are a phenomenal cartridge. I'll get one of them long ones in a minute. There's one coming out behind us somewhere. Time to put the brolly up. Lovely. Do you want to film them? Another one coming from behind. It's a feral. I'm not going to shoot it. Slow. That's not slow. Slow. No, that's not slow. Slow. Right, we've been here an hour or so. I've shot 35, a bit more than an hour. Should have shot probably 45 and missed some bloody sitters. But anyway, they're not decoying as we expected. My pal is just up the wind from us. He shot 80 something now, so he's doing well. They're coming to him, then coming to us. Just not really behaving as they should. Birds everywhere to the left. Come on, one of you guys have got to come in for sure. For fuck's sake. So we're seeing lots and lots and lots of pigeons, but they're not decoying. It's a very, very odd one. But we're working away, just quietly building a bag. What's coming is coming in quite nicely, but for every one that decoys, God, I don't know how many are flying past us. The wind is very strong the other side of those trees, so we'll just keep on plugging away. We should end up with a pretty respectable bag, but I thought we'd get a very good bag today, but we'll see what happens anyway. It's a good shooting day, it's overcast, we've had a little bit of drizzle, it's a good wind, so couldn't ask for more really. There's one coming now, I think he is going to come as well. Yeah, look at that, that is going to come in lovely. One of these little, one of Nick Tate's FF5, but he's recently put a little upgrade on it for me, made it into the remote like the FF6s are. Little spike to put the head on. Like so. All right here, but there's a flight line to our left where they're flying down this narrow wood. And there's a pheasant pen in that wood. Obviously there's no poults in it. Hang on, this is coming. Maybe not. We just thought we might have a little bit of fun. It'd be something to film a bit, something a bit different. We'll leave the hide for an hour. I'll grab a net out of the truck, which is parked up in that wood, just drape it over the edge of the pen. We'll just stand behind it for an hour and just see. We might just shoot some flight-in pigeons coming down the wood. Lovely. Think how much wheat is in the crop of that pigeon and how many thousands of birds are on this estate alone. They're eating a lot of food. Gotcha. Well, that's the end of a great day. We've shot a lot of pigeons today. Now the hard work begins. Well, it's not hard work, but we just got to pick them all up. The keeper will be taking them over to the game dealer later on, so they'll be going into the food chain. So happy days. We don't know the exact amount yet, but it's well over 400. It's been fantastic. It's classic decoying, as you can see from the footage, for quite a bit of the day. Then Mr. Ollie Lees and myself, who is the very skilled photographer, we went up into the gap in the trees in the wood, and I think he's got some good footage, because that's hard to film that, because we didn't have much of a gap, and shot these pigeons flying over, so that was a bit of fun, something a bit different, show you guys. Very pure way of shooting pigeons as well. I love it, it's my favourite type of pigeon shooting. But yeah, all in all, a fantastic day, and thanks Ollie for coming down. I know you've got to head off, mate, so we'll crack on now, get these all picked up, and yes, that's it basically. I'm Gerwyn Jones, this was the shooting show. Thank you very much for watching.
Some great shooting from Gerwyn there, and pleased to have him back on the show. Sadly, that's all we've got time for on this week's episode of The Shooting Show. If you've liked what you've watched, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're not a member of BASC, now's the time to join. My name's Chris Castle, and this has been The Shooting Show.
If you aren't a member of BASC, it's time to join now. BASC, looking after your sport, looking after you.